my queen, my queen. Oh, she, oh, she. Beautiful, wonderfully made. She's heaven's angel, so strong, even in struggle, yeah. When life comes like a storm from every angle, she rises above it all, the backbone of every home. Nothing compares to all she do. The true meaning of every family. She's the glue. Yeah. Where would we be without you? You brought us Martin, Malcolm, and Obama. Yeah. And Jesus too. Oh, she's sophisticated, strong, simply amazing. Humble, honest, and helpful. Educated, ebony, eccentric, empowering. She's a queen, she's a queen. You better treat her like a queen. Oh, Her strength is amazing. Life inside, 9 months she's carrying. Back to work, cause the family she's carrying. Society don't give her just due, but she prevails and stands tall. A champion, a true woman. But nothing compares to all she do. Yeah, the true meaning of every family. She's the glue. Yeah, oh. Where would we be without you? Yeah, you brought us Martin, Malcolm, and Obama, and Jesus too. Oh, she is so
Hello and welcome to Let's Talk with Bishop R.C. Blakes. R.C. is an author, empowerment teacher, and the proud pastor of the New Home Ministries of New Orleans, Louisiana, and Houston, Texas. His message circles the globe. His conversational and candid approach to challenging content makes him a relevant voice to all generations. Get ready for a life-changing transformational conversation.
Hello. This is R.C. Blakes, and I'm really excited about this conversation today. I need you to really invite some others, call your girlfriends, your husbands, your boyfriends, your sisters, your mothers, and invite them to come into this one today, because I think this one is going to really help a lot of women to hopefully see another perspective. That is, if you don't tune me out too fast, too quickly, and write me off because you don't like the subject. And that is, we are talking about, let me see something here. We are talking about rethinking the concept of a woman helping a husband. Rethinking the concept of a woman helping a husband. Because, we live in a day where we are really traumatizing one another, male and female, especially in the Black community. I used to say exclusively, but not really. I see this kind of stuff going on even in other communities, maybe more so in our community, in the Black community. That is, when I say our, I'm speaking from the perspective of a Black man. We are traumatizing one another, and there's a lot of anger and a lot of bitterness on both sides. Men are angry with women, women are angry with men. Men can't live without women, women can't live without men. We say, I don't need this and I don't need that. The reality is, you talk about them all the time because you really need them. But you can't find a connection because of the angst, because of the animosity, because of the brokenness, the hurt, the bitter. And so from the woman's perspective, when you mention anything about a woman helping her man, and please understand, when I say her man, I mean this is a man that is proven to be or will soon be a husband. I don't believe that a woman should just go around willy-nilly helping every man that she has a sexual attraction to or a sexual relationship with. And as I'm going to discuss in this conversation today, I think the reason why women are so triggered when it comes down to helping a man that is husband material is because in too many cases you've helped the wrong men who were never husband material. And so now you're bringing all of that brokenness, you're bringing all of that anger that other men caused to what should be and could be a very healthy and productive relationship, but now you're lacking what is necessary from your perspective as a wife. And so now the thing is, women say, I'm not helping no man. Somebody's probably typing it right now in the comments. I'm just not going to help no man. You say that, and then you say on the other side of your face, you say, I can't wait for God to send me a man. Well, if he sends you one, you're going to have to help him. I don't know where y'all get this idea that somehow you're going to get this high value, king conscious man and you ain't going to have to do no work. Lisa Blake's helped me to be the man I am today. Now, granted, all of the parts were in the box. She couldn't help me get a vision. She couldn't help me get a grind. She couldn't help me get an honesty about myself. She couldn't help me get a maturity as a man. She couldn't help me with none of that. But I brought all of that to the table, and it was my wife that partnered with me and helped me to become the man I am today. Now, she started helping me like that when she knew I was husband material, and more specifically, when she knew I was her husband. She had always been an asset to me, but she really didn't give me the full deposit of what she brought to the table. What does a woman bring to the table? She didn't give me the full deposit of what she brought to the table until it was clear that I was her husband and I wanted her to be my wife. And it was my wife that put me together. It is my wife that even keeps me together. I'm not organized. I mean, I have I have certain giftings and I have certain abilities and what have you, but it's my wife that organizes me and puts me together, man. The two become one. You know, any man, when you think about it, every high value king, conscious man, every man that you think is there, you want a man that's ready made, already put together. You don't want to do any assembly because you've been let down so many times. And I get it. I'm not trying to trigger you. I get it. I'm just trying to open your understanding. And hopefully you can hear what I'm saying to you from the perspective of a pastor, a father, an uncle, big brother, whatever, or just a man. Hopefully you can hear what I'm saying to you. Every high value man had a woman to help him at some point. Every high value man at some point was average. So the question is, who helped these men that once were average, are now high value? Who helped these men get to where they are? In most cases, most of the time, even if these guys don't want to admit it, it's a woman or women behind the scene helping men to become everything God designed them to be. Now, I don't know the numbers, but the statistics are, and I believe them, that the majority of women are fishing in about a 5% pool of men because you want him to be so tall, you want him to have so much money, you want him to already be put together. You're not concerned about him having all of the content and all of the character, and then as a woman stepping into his life when he proves to be your husband and helping him put it together, you want him to already have it together. I'm not talking about you specifically. I'm talking about, what polls are saying. And I believe it. Women want men that are already there. And very few women are willing to say, I'm healthy enough to actually get in and help a man once he proves to me that he's my husband. Iyanla Van Zant was doing, I saw it on Instagram, she was doing some kind of interview and the lady was talking about, the challenges of women finding men that make X amount of dollars and all of that kind of thing. And so Iyanla, when she broke in, she simply asked the lady one question: would you marry a bus driver? And I think the lady said something like, if he owned a bus. And Iyanla said, well, that's a problem, you see. And I agree with that is a problem. If you cannot marry a man that may not be at a certain station yet or at a certain status yet, you are more than likely missing out on a lot of great high value men in process. And there's a woman somewhere who just wants a man that has a vision, has a grind, can take care of himself, respects her, will be honest, will be a great partner, will be a great communicator. And that lady is going to take that same man, and then 5 years from now, he's going to be in that pool of high value men that's already taken because he had a woman to step into his life and help him to put it together. You see, because the next batch of high value men are sitting in the average category right now, grinding, waiting on the right woman, waiting on their Eve to step into their world and to help them. And I want you to just listen to me. You don't have to agree with me, but please just listen to me. Don't write me off and don't cuss me out in the comments and nothing like that. Just kind of listen to me. So it's not that there are not enough. Some say, well, there are just not enough of these men to go around, these high value men. It's not that there are not enough of these men. It's that most women are going to have to help these men that are in process put it together. I saw my mother help my father. My father came from Woodville, Mississippi, and he did not get a chance to finish his basic education. They took him out of school early to help, earn for the family. And so dad struggled with reading, dad struggled with everything. And he came from Woodville, Mississippi. My mom was a city girl, and at that time had some college under her belt and was a lot more refined. She married my dad and she helped my dad. My dad worked 3 jobs to take care of my mother. And it wasn't long, with the help of my mother. My father got his GED. He went to seminary. He got as much as a doctorate in theology. It wasn't long before my mom didn't have to work anymore, because she took a high value man that was in process, and she stepped into his life and she helped him. I must continue to say, no woman should help men that are not husbands. But when a man passes the husband test, wives must always help. So it's not that there are not enough of these men to go around. There are more than enough. But these men are going to have a woman somewhere. You see, like when you look at some of the so-called high value men today, as the world counts high value. The world counts high value based on how much a man earns. I think it's much more than that. I really do. It's much more than that. I think there's some things that come way before what a man earns. But when you look at this group of men that the world calls high value, that women are, most women are behind today, you know how they got to where they are in most cases? They use some woman that they never intended on marrying. They never, claim to be husband material. And usually it's like a gang of these women that help them to get to where they are. And so every man that's at a certain level in life, 99.9% of the time, it was women that helped him to get there. The way the process is to work righteously is that a woman is supposed to prove a man to be a husband through the process of time, through questions and through just observation. And once she discovers that he is husband material and he has intentions, now she gradually rolls out the benefits that she brings in terms of helping him. The big mistake women have made and are making, and the reason we're everybody's in an uproar and angry about the idea of helping men, is because you've helped men that you gave everything to men that gave nothing back. And so what I'm saying to you is that gift, what do you bring to the table? That gift that you left on the tables of men that never deserved it was always designed for the man that God has ordained for your life. Now, going back to the statement I made, which I have to probably reiterate, no woman should help men that are not husbands. If you look in Matthew 7:6, it says, "Give not that which is holy unto the dogs, neither cast ye your pearls before swine, lest they trample them under their feet and turn again and destroy you." So, but the whole idea of a woman helping a man, Lisa helped me. My mother helped my father. Every great man I know some woman helped him. And I need you to lose this idea. We got to work on getting you to a place where you're healed from all of the trauma that men have caused you in the past, that has broken you and, emptied you of all of your initiative to want to help a man. We got to get you set free from that, because this, idea of your being a husband's help is not something we created. This is something, if you're like me, I believe in God. I am a Christian. The Bible is my document. And the Bible says God calls the wife the helper. Let me read this for you. In Genesis 2:18, it says, "And the Lord God said, it is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him an helpmeet for him." A what? Helpmeet for him. Now, the original account of Eve being created as a helper for Adam is right here in the book of Genesis, which is a part of what the Hebrew Bible, the Old Testament, and is believed to have been, I believe it, should I say, to be the foundation. If you go to Genesis, I think you find the foundation of how husband-wife relationships are supposed to function when you look at the specifics and the indirect messages that God sends us through the word between Adam and Eve. But God calls her Adam's helper. And the Hebrew term there is ezer kenegdo. Ezer kenegdo, which can be translated as a helper suitable or helper corresponding to him. The Hebrew word ezer is used throughout the Old Testament to describe a helper or assistant. In some cases, it's even used to describe Holy Spirit or God. Often in the context, this word, often even in the context of military aid or military support, is this word used. For example, in the book of Deuteronomy, God is described as Israel's Ezer. I'm just trying to get you to see it's not a put down, because we view it as, I ain't nobody's helper. It's not a put down. God's described as Israel's helper in battle. That's Deuteronomy 33:7. The word implies a powerful source of help rather than a subordinate or lesser helper. Now, Ezer, that's Ezer. The second part of the phrase, kenegdo, is sometimes translated as fit for or corresponding to. And this word emphasizes that Eve was created as an equal partner to Adam, rather than as a subordinate or inferior being. The phrase ezer kenegdo, putting it together, is often interpreted to mean that Eve was created as a strong and capable helper who complemented and even completed Adam in terms of his mission, rather than simply serving him. That's why God said, it's not good for you to be alone. It's because the mission requires the help of another that corresponds, that is suitable and powerful. So overall, the original language used in Genesis to describe Eve as Adam's helper emphasizes Eve's strength and equality rather than any sense of inferiority or subservience. Now, and there's some practical reasons that a wife is going to have a mind to help a husband. Letter A man's woman is going to be the one he trusts. I don't trust anybody in the world more or as much as I trust Lisa Blakes. I sleep with this lady every night. We've been sleeping in the same bed for 28 years. Well, going on 28 years according to her. I say it's going on 29. I don't care what the calendar say. We've been married, in other words, for 28 years. This woman knows all of my secrets. This woman has all of my money. This woman helped me to get up to where I am. This woman caught me at the bottom. Now we're here. I got to have her help because this is the person I trust most in the world. If you're going to be the one your man trusts most in the world, let me be more specific, the one your husband will trust most in the world, you're going to have to be his helper. Let her be. She's the only other party that has stock in the process. If I go up, she goes up. If she goes up, I go up. We tied at the hip. We are righteously soul tied. She has a vested interest in my winning. She got to help me. You know, I'm preaching better than y'all shouting. Let us see. God brought you as a woman into the man's life to improve him. If you've been with a man and his life is not improved as a consequence of your being present, you are unnecessary. Excuse me for stepping out of the thing, but I had to get my little coffee here. If you have been in a man's life and all you're doing is grunting and growling in the bed and spending this man's money, and you have not improved his life, you are unnecessary. I would never advise a man to marry a woman that will not improve him. I don't care where he's at. Barack Obama was improved by Michelle Obama. And that's another case. He testifies that Michelle helped him to get to where he got to, whether you like his politics or not. That's an amazing marriage. And it's Michelle that helped him get to where he's gotten to. Okay. Let's shift gears now, because I can hear some of y'all hollering right now. You fussing. I don't know why he talking about this today. I'm going to talk about it. Y'all may not look at it, may not get great numbers, but it's going to be out here in perpetuity for the world to hear. Glory to God. Even when I'm gone, somebody will be able to watch this and get their minds right. Let's talk about ways a wife helps a husband, because, you know, usually when we talk about it, all the woman is thinking about is, I ain't giving no man no money. And quite honestly, if you have a husband, a man that's husband material, he ain't looking for your money. I don't care if you making $200,000 a year and he making 50. If he's a husband, he ain't banking on your money. He's not even asking you for your money. But there are other ways that women can help men. Now, there's a point where y'all are the two are one flesh, y'all married and all of this kind of thing. And, you know, it's my opinion. You don't have to roll with it. I was having a discussion with Anthony O'Neill and Dr. Irisha Hilliard, who are two very powerful young single people. And they were asking a question about, you know, if man came into a woman's life, man doing all right, but the woman's doing a little better, should they do X, Y, Z? I won't disclose all of the information, all of the content of the conversation, but it was interesting. But there's a point where when you're married that I believe that the two become one. And now we begin to build a foundation where we're working on ours, not necessarily mine or yours. Now, that doesn't mean as a single woman, if you've done the work to put your life together, that you take and you jeopardize everything you work for, and you have, especially if you have kids. You know, I mean, I believe you got to protect what you've worked for, but I believe that there's a point where we begin to grow together, and now it's about what we're producing together. And I think everybody contributes to the us plan as opposed to the me or you plan. Secure you, secure me, especially if you bring in a whole lot. I don't advise anybody to just go and throw that because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. But you got to have a mindset where now we're working on us. Lisa and I, we ain't had nothing on either side. She made more money than me, actually. She was a nurse. But we basically came up from the bottom together. And so let me get off of that. But there are other ways that a woman can help a man. Number one, a wife provides emotional support. That's one of the most important ways in which a woman can help her husband is by providing him with emotional support. You know, paying attention, knowing when he's internalizing and holding a whole lot of stuff in, and knowing what to say to him. That's the kind of stuff that really only wife-like women can do. Women that are just there for the paycheck, they're not even paying attention to a man enough to figure out, that he's struggling emotionally. But that's one of the ways that women help men. Domestic support. I believe that a woman can also help her husband by taking care, creating a climate in the house that makes his whole house his cave. Not that he shouldn't, have his own space if he desires to have it, but I think a woman establishes the climate and the environment of the house. You know what I mean? Now, should we help one another in terms of taking care of the domestic duties? Of course we should. But I think a woman has to own the space called the home and create an environment that allows the masculine mind of her man to rest. Because if you got inside of our heads, you'd realize, how much confusion is swirling. Our minds are all over the place. And sometimes we just need our women to create an environment in our homes. There are days that, my wife knows that I've had a challenging day, and I'll come home and my wife has the whole tub run for me. And man, it just brings me back to center. It just calms me. My wife knows how to light candles and create climates and atmospheres that calms me when she sees that, I'm, maybe in a place of stress. Third way woman can help a man that's beyond the financial is companionship. A wife can be a source, should be a man's main source, in my opinion, of companionship. I believe husbands and wives have to learn to become one another's best friends, because a lot of the people that you know today are going to fall off the scene tomorrow. And you're going to pretty much do the rest of your life with the one that you're sleeping next to. So why not become best of friends? Lisa's my best friend. I enjoy spending time with my wife. I enjoy going to the movies with my wife, going to dinner with my wife, traveling with my wife. And of late, she kind of travels everywhere I go with me, and I absolutely love it. And so there's more to a woman helping a man than the financial, but we cannot eliminate the financial, because we live in a day and time where it costs a lot of money to live the life that most of us desire to live. And most men are not presently making enough money to sustain a household in today's climate or economy. So sometimes a man is going to need his wife to help him. Now, the man is going to have to be wise enough to understand that it's not her responsibility, but she's helping you. Come on now. Now, I know some of y'all believe in the women's liberation thing. You talking about 50-50. God bless you with that. That's what you think. But if a man is a biblical, king-conscious man, he is not out here talking about you bring your 50%, I bring mine. No, he has a mind. In fact, he's disturbed by the fact that he can't presently pay it all. And he's grateful for his woman stepping in to help him. But he has a plan to get to a point where he can cover all of the expenses of the house. That's just the school I came from. Now, if his woman has a great career and she chooses to do that, God bless her. That's money we can do something else with. Invest. Wifey can keep herself up. It takes a lot of money for a woman to, keep herself up and all of that, and we can invest for the future. But the man knows that he has a mind to provide 100% for his household. And so he will view his woman stepping in, adding to the pool financially as her helping him. Now, let me get into the last leg of this conversation. I know I've already gotten into a lot of trouble, but let me get into the last leg of this conversation, reframing the concept of a woman helping her husband. Why is it important for a woman to wrestle with this idea of being her husband's help? You notice how I continue to specify husband? Pay attention to that. Husband, 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 husband. Why is it important for a woman to process the idea of being a help to her husband? Number one, a woman's help to a man is the mark of assignment. It's the mark of assignment. The only man that needs help is a man that is doing something and has maxed out. God had already created Adam, given him a job, and then God says, okay, he's maxed out by himself. It's not good for him to be alone. Let me make him an Ezer Kenegdo, a helper suitable. The only man that needs help is a man that is doing something and has maxed out and is clearly husband. If a woman has nothing to help with in a man's life, she has no assignment in that man's life. And a wife is on assignment. I don't care how much you bossing out. I don't care how much you're doing this all around the world. If you really have a husband that you really love, you have an assignment in that man's life. In other words, God has put you in that man's life, and God has put that man in your life for you to improve upon. Watch this, even give birth to that man's potential. The woman is the womb of everything the man is seeded with. You see, we as men, we have a lot of great ideas. One of the new members in one of the congregations came to me and said, "Pastor, why aren't we doing this, and that in this particular area of ministry?" And I said, "Look back there." And I said, "You see?" I said, "There's nothing but guys back there." And I said, when you have guys, mind you, they're faithful guys and they do their job. But when you have guys come with a lot of ideas. But many times we lack the skill to actually formulate, organize, and mobilize. It's not until you put a woman in the mix and a woman understands the vision that the woman can take the seed of the ideas into the womb of her femininity and then reproduce it so that the whole world can see what was always in the man. A woman helping a man is the mark of assignment. You're going to be able to recognize your husband largely by the assignment you see or the role you see yourself being able to fulfill in his life. A man is going to be able to, a wise man is going to be able to recognize, like Adam recognized that Eve was woman, man with a womb. A man is going to be able to, a husband is going to be able to recognize his wife by the abilities and the skills that she's presently demonstrating in her self-actualization. And he's going to be able to say, man, this is exactly what I lack. This is what I need. She has an assignment in my life. Come on now. Come on now. Help is the mark of assignment. The man that God gives you is going to be for more than, holding on your arm, taking pictures with, making babies with. You're going to have an assignment in that man's life. There will be no, you will not have, it's almost impossible to be at peace as a woman if you have a man whose life is constantly elevating and growing and blowing up, and you have no role in that. I don't care how great you're doing. If you love a man, you have to have a vital assignment in that man's life. Your feminine soul requires it. And so help is the mark of assignment. Number 2, a woman being a man's help, being a husband's help, is what binds a man's heart to her. You see, because all that sexual stuff, that wears off. I'm telling you, that wears off. That gets old. That gets old, Oh, he's so sexy. She's so sexy. Ooh, she got some lips and hips, and oh my God. And man, that gets old. That gets old. Holly Berry was considered the most beautiful woman in the world. And men even cheated on her. It's because all of that sexual stuff, a man gets accustomed to that, and that gets old. You know what creates a lifelong bond between the heart of a man and a woman is when a man can look back over his life and he can say, I love this lady. We've grown in love together. And I would not be who I am if it were not for this lady. Like right now, Lisa and I, our love, man, is about our history. I wouldn't be the man I am if it were not for my wife. And so, my wife is the one that came into my life and got me together. My credit was bad. I was disorganized. I just, had a lot of ideas. I was not activating. My wife came in and said, okay, hey, give me your money. Let me do this here now. Got my credit together. My wife was the one that said, okay, man, you've been talking a whole lot about this. Get off your bottom. Let's move. Let's do this now. And quite frankly, as men, there are times we need our women to step into those roles and have expectations of our greatness to manifest, rather than us just sitting on it. And when we have women like this, it creates a bond. When you can help a man, when you can help your husband, I got to keep saying that, it is what bonds the two of you together. When sexy gets old, it will be loyalty and commitment that binds a couple together for life. Listen to what Proverbs 31, 10 through 12 says about that virtuous woman. Says, who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. The heart of a husband doth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. She will do him good and not evil. He had a bond to her because she kept him together. She helped him. And then number 3, help is required. Watch this. Help is required for the merged family vision. Now, let me explain what I mean by that. Why is it that a wife will always have to help a husband? It's because when you come together as two wholes, right? You should have an amazing vision as a woman. He should have an amazing vision as a man. Both of you should be working on your particular visions. When you come together, watch this. Now there is a family vision that's greater than his vision, your vision alone. It's the merging of the two. And now, what are we going to become together? And so it's not like, okay, we're just going to live under the same roof and just, we're just going to be two separate individuals going in two separate directions. No, we're merging, we're coming together, and now we have a merged vision that's bigger than him or you. It's going to require the participation of both of you to accomplish it. And so for a man to be a husband and to have vision for the family, it's going to require that he has a woman that tunes into the family vision and is willing to help him in the merged family vision. A woman's help is mandatory because the vision for the union is greater than the two single visions were separately. The vision for the merger requires the expertise of both parties. So a man can't merge with a woman and come into a family context and then say, okay, we're going to create a family vision with a woman that says, I ain't helping no man. I ain't helping no. Well, all right. If you go to Ecclesiastes chapter 4, 9 through 12 in the Amplified, it reads like this. Two are better than one. Two are better than one because they have a more satisfying return for their labor. For if either of them falls, the one will lift up his companion, but woe to him who is alone when he falls and does not have another to lift him up. Your man's going to fall. Who's going to help? Who's going to lift him up? Again, if two lie down together, then they keep warm, but how can one be warm alone? And though one can overpower him, who is alone, two can resist him. A cord of three strands is not quickly broken. It's just talking about the power of literally being unified and being the support system one for the other. But a man is going to have a wife, a husband is going to have a wife who is willing to help him in the family vision. 1 Peter 3:7 says, likewise, husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. This is not a me thing, you thing. This is a us, we thing. And so a man is going to have, now again, he's going to have to be a husband. When you know that a man is a husband, how do you know a man is a husband? It's a lot of it is revealed right here in 1 Peter 3:7. He dwells with you according to knowledge. He learns you and he honors you. If a man is not learning you and if he's not honoring you, you are right to be reserved in terms of making deposits, casting pearls in that direction. But if a man knows you and he honors you and he's articulated or he's acted on his intentions towards you, he is your husband, you should pray that God will bring healing to your heart, that you might be able to assist your man in the family vision because you have something to add. And then number 4, help. A woman being a man's help is the mark of a healed soul. Now, you've been hearing me talk this whole while about how men have broken women, men have discouraged women, men have used women, which has created the climate where women say, I will never, ever help a man again. But I'm just here saying to you, if you really truly want a husband, and if you want to keep a husband, you're going to have to step into your Ezer Kenegdo role. You're going to have to heal so that you can be your husband's helper because he needs it. Because the dynamics of the relationship needs it. When a woman has been hurt and misused by the wrong men, it quite often leaves a bit of offense and even trepidation towards the idea of helping men, and it prevents the woman from cooperating with her husband. The men, the soul ties that abused and misused and took advantage, positions the woman where she's prevented from cooperating with the husband that God has put into her life. It prevents her from even being able to develop a concept of service towards a man, even if he's serving her, because it requires a healed soul to serve. It requires a healed feminine soul to help. And so this is going to require recognizing, watch this, recognizing the voice of your pain. When you start hearing yourself saying stuff like, I ain't helping no man, and then you gotta recognize that is not the language of a healthy, healed feminine soul. Because according to Genesis, you were created to help the right man. Recognize that voice. Understand where it's coming from. Understand that it's not a representation of you. It's a representation of the pain within you. Second thing you got to do is now analyze the man in your life. Consciously analyze the man in your life. If you come back with the conclusion that this man is a husband, if he's a husband, he deserves a helper. Third thing I think you got to do is you got to go find someone to help you to process this stuff. You know, a therapist, a counselor. Find someone that can help you talk this through. Maybe fourth, this could have been third actually. Communicate your inability to help in the past to your significant other, to your man, in other words. You don't want him thinking that this is the representation of you. You need to be able to communicate if he's this kind of man, if he's a husband, if he's an honorable man, if he dwells with you according to knowledge and he's gentle with you. You're going to have to communicate, I've not been what I should have been to you. Because I'm still healing. And then let him be a part of the process. And then, and I'm just coming off the top of my head. Then, of course, you're going to have to fall back into the arms of the healer, who is God. And trust God to purge your heart. Trust God to mend up every broken place. Trust God to draw nigh to you. And let God bring healing to you. I like the way Psalms 119 and 165 says, great peace have they which love thy law, and nothing shall offend them. The reason you've made up your mind that you're not going to help a man is because you were offended. When you heal from the offense, you're going to be able to receive this present man, or maybe the man to come, that will be or is your husband. You'll be able to receive him properly, and you'll be able to play your role in that man's life, because the problem is that you gave too much to men who were not husbands. You were emotionally bankrupted by bums. But when the husband shows up, you need your emotional tank to be full. Or even if the husband is present, he needs to know that you're going through the process and that you recognize this, and that you will become the helper that a good husband deserves. And so those are my thoughts, man. I hope y'all haven't cussed me out in these comments, but if you did, it's worth it, because this needed to be said. Now let me pray for you. Father, I thank you for every woman that has heard and listened to what I've had to say today. Now, Father, may the precious Holy Spirit arrest women all around the United States of America and even the world. Arrest them in your love, engulf them in your presence. Let each of them sense a presence of God like they've never sensed before. And now I thank you for bringing healing to those broken hearts and clarity to their minds. I thank you, God, for preparing single women to be wives in the full sense of the word. And I thank you for raising up husbands for them. And God, give them clarity. Give them discernment. In Jesus' name, amen. Now listen, I've enjoyed this time with you. Go by the website, rcblakes.com. Sign up for my mailing list. You'll always get the notifications of when I'm coming on. You'll get the emails about events that I'm going to be speaking at all around the country and what have you. Sign up for the mailing list. Check out all of my online programs while you're there. Don't forget to go by Amazon, pick up all of my books, Queenology, Me, My Mind, Kingology, all of the books, man. Father, Daughter Talk, all of the books are there at Amazon. Thanks to all of you who have sown into our lives. Lisa and I love you so much. You know, we see your names come across there. We just love you so much, and we appreciate you, and we thank God for you. You are such a blessing to us, and we do not take you lightly. If you need counseling, and you may need counseling relative to some of the things we've discussed today, I want you to go into the description, and there's a link for BetterHelp Counseling. And if you follow that link and check BetterHelp out, it's counseling that you can get over the phone, I think, across the computer and all of that. You can stay in the privacy of your own home, and you can talk with someone and they can walk you through. We have an amazing relationship with BetterHelp Counseling. And if you use that link, it will afford you 10% off of the cost of the counseling if you choose to use them. And they, in turn, because I recommended them to you, will make a deposit into R.C. Blake's Ministries. I love you. I thank God for you. You're on top. You're going higher. Hey, man, there's nothing left to say, but make sure you like this video before you leave today. And other than that, we will see you at the top. But like this video before you leave. God bless you. I love you. Until next time.
We here at R.C. Blake's Ministries want to thank you for spending this time with us today. R.C. and Lisa are always honored to have you with us. Don't forget to reach out to us by visiting our website at www.rcblakes.com. While you're there, you may join our mailing list and receive a free download of The Laws of Manifesting Your Vision by R.C. Blakes. Also look at all of the online programs by R.C. You may find all books written by R.C. and Lisa. Once again, all of us here at R.C. Blake's Ministries want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And as we always say, see you at the top.